A 6-year-old was suspended for using finger guns. Here's a clip.
An Alabama father is now threatening to sue his son's school after the 6-year-old was almost expelled for using finger guns while playing cops and robbers.
Kids can't even be kids
anymore.
anymore.
Put your thumb and index finger in the shape of a gun, right? Well, the first grader also said bang, bang. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That was seemingly too realistic for the school, and the boy was hit with a Class 3 major infraction under the threat and intimidation rule.
Did they even have water guns or anything anymore? Or is that just off limits too? Because when I was a kid, we used to have, a bunch of toy guns. That was like, I had so many toy guns growing up, and we had water guns. Are water guns not even allowed anymore? Can they not even do like water balloons? No, that's too much.
According to the school's handbook, incidents under that rule may include a threat to kill, maim, or inflict serious harm with or without the use of any weapon, explosive, firearm, etc.
He's 6.
Joining me now is the boy's father, Jared Belcher, and his attorney, Mr. Reed Martz. Jared, there are a lot of things about this that are infuriating, but as a parent, it hit pretty hard when I saw that your son was required to sign on the bottom of this infraction form, the backward N.
Wow.
You see it, the misspelled last name. He's 6 years old. Is that even legal under any under any formulation of the law in your state for a minor to sign any document like that?
Well, for Laura, for clarification, the school district simply asked the young man to sign to acknowledge receipt. Although I agree with you, we couldn't reproduce the child's signature, as it were, for privacy reasons, but it emphasizes the point of just what an absurd situation this is when we're dealing with someone who can barely write their own name because of their age, and yet they're hit with a Class 3 infraction equivalent to arson or bomb threat, gang activity.
That's wild.
My point stands. It's a signature requirement on an acknowledgement on a document that is recognizing guilt of some sort. I mean, that's what it is.
6.
I acknowledge that you did. No, I don't acknowledge anything. As the parent, Jared, just that aspect of this infuriates me. I'm a mom of 3 teenagers. They don't always do the right thing. But the idea that that would be part of this, give me a break.
Yeah, it infuriated me too. And from my understanding, he was actually taken into the administrator's office and basically interrogated, made to confess, and then sign his name.
Why?
So out of the presence,
these teachers now, they just are just power hungry people. This is what they do. They're like, hey, we can get this little 6-year-old. They don't. A lot of these teachers, they don't have guys. They're not married, and they just hate guys so much. They're like, we're gonna punish this little boy for being a little boy. Oh, he's not feminine and all this. No, it's like, what is wrong with you people? It's like kids be kids. This is wild.
Out of the presence of you, his parent.
Correct.
He was brought in. I mean, a little boy, he's not going to know what this is. Probably doesn't know what the word infraction is. I mean, there are a lot of adults who probably don't know what the word of infraction is, Jared.
He was terrified,
but most likely not.
Rightfully so.
So here's what else is under the Class 3 infraction: arson, assault, bomb threats, burglary, drugs, explosives, firearms, sexual battery. So, again, finger guns. Does that fall within that group of infractions?
Wild.
But any reasonable person would say no. But apparently the administration chose not to be reasonable.
Yeah, well, this was knocked down to a Class 2. I mean, I don't know what kind of school this is.
I don't know what these mean.
This is just
should be a Class
insane.
0.
Yeah, Reed, what are your legal remedies at this point, since it was knocked down to a Class 2? But the mindset here is all wrong for the defending your rights of your client. The mindset of the school is wrong, but is there a civil
100%.
Action possible still, given what happened?
Well, we hope it doesn't come to that, Laura. I mean, we've given the Board of Education an opportunity, a deadline at the end of this week, to do the right thing, to recognize just the absurdity of this situation of
That's all they want.
6-year-old. And by the way, I found out over the weekend that this is not an isolated incident. There was another similar situation last year where it wasn't reduced. that young man, another 6-year-old, still has a Class 3 infraction for using a water gun, exhibiting a water gun at an inappropriate time during
So
the
they
school
can't use
day.
water guns. I was right.
Yeah, this is what we're dealing with.
Well, and
Can't you use
meanwhile,
water
people
guns?
who are truly violent are often kicked from school district to school district, as we saw with that horrible situation in Parkland, where someone who had threatening behavior, was obviously a problem. He wasn't ultimately dealt with in the way he should have been dealt with, which was with the police. Jared, as a father, now you think it's good to stay in the school, keep your child in the school?
Well, here's the thing. Before this incident, we have never had a single problem with the school district, and all the
He's
teachers
only 6, though.
and all the staff have been wonderful. And my son, he really likes
Maybe
the
as
school,
other kids, but
so he would prefer to stay in the school.
he's in first
I guess
grade.
just
We're
hide your
hopeful that
fingers.
the school district.
Hide your fingers. You walk around like,
that's right.
but then you could, and then it's your fists. I mean, Jared and Reed, we're going to keep monitoring this, but the fact that this was
It's
even
insane.
approaching an issue is disturbing.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
This stuff is crazy. This is what schools are now. It's insane. Like she was just saying, it's you go and can just be kind of crazy and be like really nuts, and they just let you do all this stuff. It's YouTube's. I gotta kind of be careful with what I say, but you know what I mean. This like transgender stuff that's coming up now in these schools and what they let them do. But then like a kid makes a little finger gun. It's like, no. It's like, what are you talking about? Me and my friends, we had dart guns. We had so much stuff growing up, and the teachers didn't care. Boys are boys. Now it's just like boys are bad. It's like, oh man, being a kid going to school nowadays, and my parents wouldn't have put me in a private school. I always said that I hated school, and my dad's like, everyone hates school. But I went every single day. I only had a sick day when I had a flu one year. And that's like, okay, well, not everyone's you. I hated it. I missed every day that I could. And most of the stuff I learned was after I got out of school. I dropped out in 9th grade, and I definitely don't regret it at all. I talk to other people like nowadays that graduated, and they're like, man, I kind of wish I would have dropped out now. Just because like all this stuff nowadays you can learn on your own, and you go start your own business. I mean, if you drop out and don't do anything, I wouldn't think that you might as well just finish school, really. But if you have like business aspirations like I did, what's the point? Go and try to make your own income, because this is how especially nowadays, this is how the schools treat you. And you can just learn all the stuff you can learn in school on your own, or for a little help from a tutor or something. Like I've talked about before, like they a lot of people are doing these small neighborhood schools where they'll get like 6 kids with a stay-at-home mom, and she'll teach them a bunch of stuff, and then you could learn online. There's a bunch of homeschooling programs. There's a bunch of awesome subscription sites that your kids can learn a lot from. You can learn a lot from too. And a lot of parents are like, well, I'm not smart enough to teach my kid. You think that these teachers are smarter than you? I highly doubt it. I bet you would do just fine. I mean, you have a job and are making money. These guys just go get a degree to teach the little kids. It's like, how smart are they? And that's what I always think, like as an adult now, like growing up, I thought my teachers are so smart because they're a teacher. No. What's that old saying? Those who can't do, teach. It's like, these are the teachers. You could do just fine, and you could go right along with your kids and learn with them. It's definitely possible, and then you could teach your own kids. And I get it. It's like daycare and stuff if you really don't have the money for it. But in a 6-year-old, he can't be like unsupervised. But I say this a lot about like 10, 12-year-olds when I see them having trouble in schools. A lot of 12-year-olds are starting to stand up, which, good for them. It's like they could stay home and just teach themselves, and then just ask what to go over everything. And then a lot of these things have testing and stuff. So you at the end of every day, and they're way better than those weekly tests I did. So it's better learning anyways. It's a better experience for the kids. And then put them into like, MMA or some type of club or something. You could start your own club. A lot of parents are like, well, you need schooling to help socialize these kids. But it's just like, you could start your own club. You have your kids come every day. Some kids come over Wednesday night, and host some type of a club, whatever you're interested in. If you're interested in anything, travel, knitting, or whatever. It doesn't matter, right? It's anything. Travel, knitting, sports. You could do a jiu-jitsu class in your garage, every Wednesday night to help these kids socialize, and put it on to events, Eventbrite and Meetup and stuff like that. And then there you go. Now your kids have socializing, and yeah, it's awesome. And then they get to choose their exact interest instead of just being put in school. Like, I'm not really interested in this. Well, it's like, okay, you should learn a little bit of it. Like, if kid's not interested in reading, he should still learn how to read. But there's easy ways to entice kids to want to read. I always wanted to read growing up. So, yeah, it's something people want to do. They could, because they see stuff like signs and stuff. Hey, I can't read that, and they want to. So, I don't know. I think modern day schools for me are just, they shouldn't even be here anymore. You have these indoctrinating teachers. You have them punishing kids for everything. Your kids could be getting taught by anybody. And we've shown that those anybodies aren't so good. And then they could be going to school with anybody too. And then you see kids getting bullied all the time. And it's just because of the stupid public school system. That's why these kids have such rough lives, or a huge part of it anyway. And you could just have them learning stuff that they want with the people they want, not instead of forcing them into these situations where you can't even make a finger gun when you're 6. Otherwise, it's just like, now you get a level 3 infraction. And by the way, I don't know what they didn't really describe that. What does it matter? The dad only wants him to take away the infraction. Yeah, yeah, I would want him an apology. I would want you're telling my son you were wrong. I don't know. How can you even, he's going to do it again. He's a little kid. Kids do this type of stuff. And now he has to go walk on eggshells for the rest of elementary school when he's in 1st grade. What's it? It's like 4 or 5 years. It's just like, this is, I would be like, no, I'm sending him to a different school, or I'm just getting a different situation. But I kind of get it. The guy seems like a working man, and it's like, what am I going to do? How am I who's going to watch the kid? And it's like, is daycare good, or a babysitter? Yeah, and then that's probably too much money. And the school, it's like paid for by my tax dollars. But it's like, So I'm 35, and I don't have kids, because I would love to have kids, but it's just like, oh, man, this is a situation that I'd be put in. Stuff that I wouldn't think would be best for my kid, I'm forced into it so I can pay to make sure he has other things. But I don't know. I'm in a unique situation, too. I work from home, so for me, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, really. But you know what I mean. Like, for people that don't have that ability, I get it's rough. It's just, yeah. There should be a lot of changes made. And I was just saying, I like the neighborhood schooling type thing, where you find one stay-at-home parent, they stay at home anyways, have them watch them, instead of some weird teacher or some weird daycare person that anyone could go in there and be around your kids in a daycare. But if you're like, there's a camera at the back of the classroom, and then the woman, her, you've hung out with her, or the guy who you've hung out with and everything, yeah, that'd probably be a way better situation. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe for daily news updates, smash that like button, share this video with your friends, and share your thoughts on the story in the comments below. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.